Welcome to the Girard Homestead.
Hello, hello! Welcome to the Girard Homestead kitchen. So for our first cooking video on the channel, we're going to be doing some homemade strawberry jam. So this is going to be a no preservatives, no artificial sugars. The only things in here are strawberries, there's chia seeds, maple syrup, and lemon juice. So nothing artificial. We're trying to keep it as healthy as possible for our little baby. So this is obviously not as cost effective as just buying some jam at the grocery store, since maple syrup is pretty pricey. If you do have some honey laying around, you can always stub the maple syrup for honey. It would be a little bit cheaper depending where you're at. Where you can find your honey, sometimes it's a little bit cheaper. But for us, we're gonna be using maple syrup since babies can't have honey. So this is baby safe for us since there's no artificial sugar. Realistically, babies are not supposed to have any sugar at all for the first 2 years. For us, we don't consider maple syrup as an artificial sugar. To each their own. I don't have a recipe without any sugar at all. So this is just our version of it. This is not going to be in his main diet. He's going to be having this once in a blue moon on a piece of sourdough. It's basically it. So it's just to get us through till next summer once he's a little bit older. So yesterday morning, me and baby went and got some strawberries at our local farm. So if you saw our garden video 2 weeks ago, we did not plant any strawberries in our garden this year, just with space and time-wise, we didn't have time. So we did go get some local organic strawberries. But next year we will be doing this jam with our own strawberries. So we definitely are looking forward to that. So let's get going, because this ended up taking me from 8:30 a.m. till 3:45 p.m. But keep in mind, I did have 4 naps with the baby in there. Well, not me sleeping, the baby was sleeping. But anyways, so it would take you probably around 2 hours, 3 max. It took me all day, but you gotta go with the baby's schedule. So let's get things going. All right, so the first step to making our strawberry jams, you're gonna need your strawberries, some baking soda, and a big bowl with water. So we're gonna put all our strawberries in the bowl, sprinkle some baking soda on top just to try to remove as much of the pesticides that they sprayed on them, because if you've watched the news, you know that even when they say they're organic, it's not always organic. It's just different things that they spray onto the fruit and vegetables. I missed one. All right, so I don't have enough water in here, so I'm just gonna add a little more. All right, so the strawberries are all covered. Now I'm just gonna mix this in real quick. And we're gonna let this soak for about 15 minutes, and then we're gonna rinse it with cold water afterwards. All right, so I forgot we're gonna be needing some lemons for lemon juice for in our jam. So I'm just gonna add these in here as well, because Kyle is gonna be using the zest for a concentrate of some sorts. Not really sure, but he's gonna be using it for something. So I'm just gonna do it all at the same time. All right, so this is what we're starting with. Water is nice and clear. You're just seeing a little bit of debris in the water. But everything is nice and coated. We are gonna mix this every couple of minutes or so, just so everything gets nice and even. All right, so while we're waiting for this, I'm gonna be doing the dishwasher because baby is happy playing with that. All right, so it's been about 15 minutes of the strawberries and lemons soaking. I just took off the lemons, and rinse them, put them to the side. Now we're gonna drain our strawberries. They should be nice and clean. Water's nice and dark for us. I saw a little bit of bugs walking around in here. Good thing we washed these. So we're gonna go over to the sink and rinse these in cold water just to get all of the little bit of baking soda that's on the strawberries off of them. All right, so strawberries are all in here. Cold water, we're just gonna rinse them. All right, so now the strawberries are nice and washed. So they're looking a little rough. I was supposed, oh, you're upside down. I was supposed to do these yesterday, but baby is almost 6 months old. He started hitting a sleep regression. All he wanted to do was be in my arms, but Kyle was busy working in the office. So these had to wait till today. So I'm gonna go put him to sleep. It is currently 8:25. Hopefully I'll be back by 9:30. We'll see. All right, so it's currently 9:18. Took a while to put him to sleep. He's finally sleeping. So I'm gonna remove the core off of the strawberries and start dicing them. All right, so it's a little bit past 10 a.m. Baby woke up, dealt with that. He is now doing some tummy time. So strawberries are all sliced. So I had a 4-liter basket. So we're gonna see how much is left after the snacking I did this morning. So I love to use a scale in the kitchen. I use this for precision, not for restriction. Okay, so food scales for me are just easier than having to clean up a bunch of measuring cups. So I'm gonna put my big pot on there and then zero out my scale. All right, so it's at 0. So I'm gonna dump all of these in my big pot just to know how many times I have to do the recipe. I'm dropping them everywhere. So we like a nice chunky jam. If you prefer to have it nice and smooth and no chunks, you can, instead of chopping them all up, you can use the immersion blender and just roughly blend them for a couple seconds. So we have... It's too heavy. I can't see. Wait, I'm gonna go get a different scale because it's not holding. I can't see. No, I'll be right back. All right, so I ended up going and getting my baby scale to weigh my baby. Remove the baby attachment, it has grams. Worked perfectly. Not sure why my other scale wasn't working because it worked last time I did this. It's not happy this morning. So it weighed a little bit over 2,000 grams. So I'm gonna do the recipe 3.5 times. So Kyle's gonna add the single recipe here because Kyle's gonna be editing. So now time to actually make the jam. So the time consuming part is gonna be to let this simmer on the oven. We will take a brief break because we need maple syrup. And I forgot we were very, very low. So I went to go see our neighbor this morning because he's our maple syrup dealer. He wasn't home, so I'm gonna go back and check in a couple hours and we'll get things rolling then. So I'm just gonna put these in the fridge just so they stay as fresh as possible because they are looking a little rough from not being in the fridge overnight. All right, so while we wait for maple syrup, we're gonna start working on our lemon juice. So we prefer just using some nice fresh lemons instead of the already squeezed lemons, just because it is a little bit healthier. So I'm just gonna roll my lemon for a couple seconds. Then I'm just gonna split it in half. And we're just gonna press the lemon until there's no more juices coming out. Okay, so don't worry about the seeds just yet. We can strain this later. It's flying everywhere. All right, so it's looking a little rough. So we are gonna put this in the garbage. We don't let any of our animals eat lemons. I don't think anyone would like those. We do keep all the strawberry tops. Those are most likely gonna go to our rabbits since they love them. Our strawberries, because of the way I cut them, there's almost no red spots left. So if you cut strawberries and there's a bunch of red on it, I would not give it to your rabbits. It's a lot of sugar unless you have a lot of rabbits. But this is like 98% green, so they're gonna enjoy that sweet little treat this afternoon. All right, I'm just gonna start with 2 lemons. I'm gonna do the 2 big ones because I will most likely turn the others into just some fresh lemonade. Oh, I just splat everywhere. Ooh. Oh, lemon exploded. All right, so last half of my lemon. Just realized I put those in the trash. Well, Kyle, if you see this, I'm sorry. Forgot about it. Sorry. All right, I'm just gonna rinse my hands before I touch a bunch of stuff because it's all gonna get sticky. All right, so clean mason jar, a strainer. We're just gonna let this go in so we can catch all the seeds. Now I'm hoping 2 lemons was enough. Might not be, so I'll check the recipe in a second. If you want to keep the pulp of the lemons, you can. This just strains it. I'm not going through twice. So I'm just gonna add it back into this bowl, zero out the scale. Two. That was so close. I had 106 grams. So it's completely fine. So there's a little bit of lemon juice everywhere, but we got 106 grams. We needed 105. So I'm just gonna add this into our jam. So I add it before it starts heating up. So just throwing it all in. So now all we're missing is the maple syrup. There's no way I have enough with this little bit. So I'll try to go bother my neighbor, see if he's back. Please wait a moment. All right, so we just got back from getting our maple syrup from our neighbor. So I need 210 grams of maple syrup in here. That was a nice seal. Right, so I'm just gonna put this on the scale, zero it out since my big container doesn't work, and I'm just gonna drop and check every couple seconds, just make sure I'm not putting too much in. And 220, a little bit too much, but it's okay. Again, it's just an idea. We had a little bit more strawberries in there to begin with anyways. So now that that's ready, I'm just gonna wash the side of that jar because it just leaked everywhere. I'll show you guys what this looks like before we start, and then we're gonna put it on, I believe it's medium heat for, I couldn't tell you how long. So you're about to find out with me because I don't remember last time I made it. So it's currently almost 12:30. All right, so this is what we're looking like. So all we have in here is strawberries, lemon, and maple syrup. You can always sub honey instead of maple syrup, but because our little one is going to be eating it, he can't eat honey until he's 1 year old. So we're just gonna turn on the oven or the stovetop on medium heat, and here you go. I'll come back once it's simmering. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes. You can see there's slowly a little bit of bubbles in there. So just make sure you keep stirring your pot every few minutes. Doesn't have to be perfect, just so nothing sticks to the bottom, because you don't want the bottom of your jam to be all burnt sugar. All right, so it's been about 10 more minutes. So you can see it's getting nice and liquid. So this is completely normal. We'll be back in a few more minutes. All right, so it's been another 10 minutes. So you can see it's getting nice and foamy. Just try to get the sides really well, or else it's all going to start sticking on the sides. But it's very, very soupy, very liquid. It's slowly going to start thickening up in a few minutes. All right, so it's been about 40 minutes. As you can tell, we used to be all the way up here, so the jam is slowly getting thicker and thicker. So we like our jam really, really thick, so we're gonna keep simmering this for another little bit. If you like it runnier, you can always stop whenever your jam starts looking ready for your liking. All right, so it's been an hour and 10 minutes. It's looking nice and thick. Just the consistency that we like it. If you like it even thicker, you can keep it on there a little bit longer. But I'm starting to run out of time because I want this to cool and package up before we have to leave, because we have plans for dinner. So I'll show you the little steps that we have left. All right, so to finish it off, it's done cooking in the next 2 or 3 minutes. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of chia seeds in there. It is gonna help thicken it up a little bit more, a little bit more fiber, a little bit of protein in there at the same time. Obviously not a lot of protein, it's gonna be like 6 grams in your whole jam, but it's still a little bit in there anyways. They're going everywhere. So I'm just gonna mix this in, let it simmer for another minute or two, just until it's all nice and absorbed in there. And then I'm gonna let the jam cool for probably an hour or two, and then I'm gonna put it in my mason jars to finish cooling off completely, but I don't want the glass to crack. All right, so this is what it looks like with just them in there, and you're just gonna stir them in until they're nice and combined everywhere. Okay, so it's looking nice and even, nice and thick, nice thick chunks. Be back in a few minutes. All right, so I was feeding the baby. I'll show you guys, it's been about 5 minutes since this has been cooling off. So this is what it looks like right now. I can't really mix it because my hands are full, but you can see it's a lot thicker. You can still see the big strawberry chunks as we like it. I'll come back in about 15-20 minutes once it's cooled, and we'll be able to pack it up in jars. All right, so our jam has been cooling for about 20 some minutes. So as you can see, it's looking nice and thick. So this is ready to be put into jars. All right, so my jars are not cold. They are just, Kyle just washed them very, very quickly. They were already clean, but just so they're nice and warm. My jam is still hot, but it's not super, super hot, so it should be nice and easy to pour in. You just can't put some boiling hot jam into some cold jars, or else your mason jars are going to crack. I'm just gonna fill these up real quick. Not sure how many this is gonna make. You want to make sure you leave at least an inch of the head space on top, as we are going to freeze these. The sugar content in these is not high enough to pressure a water bath jam. Anyways, the sugar is not high enough, so they would only be shelf stable for a couple weeks. It's not good enough, so I'm just gonna freeze them, and we're gonna be able to eat these throughout the winter. All right, so I made 2.5 mason jars. So this is a liter right here, and then I'd say about half of this is filled up. I did have 2 pieces of toast already while it was cooling, so I did take some jam already, and Kyle did have a spoonful, so it would have been a little bit closer to the full thing, but we were snackish, so we had this for lunch. So now I'm gonna let these completely cool, and then I'm gonna use a little vacuum sealer for mason jars, just so they stay a little bit fresher in my freezer. So I'll be back whenever these are completely cooled down. All right, so our jam has now completely cooled down. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna grab our new lid. Now we're gonna turn it on for about 15 seconds or so. There's a timer on the top. So essentially it's just taking all the air out to keep it as fresh as possible in the freezer. And then take it off, and then it's sealed. So when you open it, wait, I can't open it with one hand. I'll come back later and show you guys to open it. But basically I'm just gonna put this on. This is ready to go in my freezer. We are gonna bring this to our neighbor since he did give us some maple syrup. So yeah, so this one's going for our neighbor, and I'm gonna freeze this one, and this one's gonna stay fresh in our fridge for the next couple of days. All right, so that's the second one. This one's gonna stay fresh, but I'll seal it for you guys just so I can open it and you can hear that it does seal them good enough for the freezer. Just helps them taste a little bit fresher. As you can see, you okay? Did I scare you? It does seal very well. So, can I have the lid? Can I have the can I have the lid? Can I have the lid? Can I have the lid? Look, guys, I need the lid. Thank you. Right. Gus is watching us through the window. It's cooking dinner on the Blackstone. Right. So, this was how we make our strawberry jam. It's a lot better than if you used... We found this actually in our pantry earlier. So there is strawberries, sugar, water, citric acid, pectin, carob bean gum, concentrated black carrot juice, natural flavor, and sodium benzoate. Again, we don't even know what are natural flavors. No one knows what that is. So this is our take on strawberry jam for the year. Hopefully next year we're gonna have our own strawberries in our garden. But this is it for this week. So thank you so much. If you have any other... Okay. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. Me and baby, or probably Kyle actually, would gladly answer them. Okay, I'm gonna go before he breaks this. See you guys later.
But for now, stay tuned for more Girard Homesteading content.